Welcome back. Well, the infrastructure bill out of the Senate facing criticism on both sides of the aisle. Now, some Democrats are discussing a second bill that would focus on child care, climate, and education. I'm not sure if they're going to call that one infrastructure. Louisiana Congressman Garret Graves is a member of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. He joins me now. Congressman, it's great to see you. Thanks very much for being here.
Hey.
Why is the hard infrastructure bill out of the Senate facing criticism, sir?
Well, good morning. I think it's facing criticism because it's not focused on core areas of infrastructure. Look, our traffic and transportation problems across the country are absolutely profound, yet the bill tries to come in and fund tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions of dollars toward things like electric vehicle infrastructure, which only represents 2% of the vehicles on the road today. It's not addressing the core needs of American infrastructure that is delaying our economy, that's impacting every American's life on a daily basis, and I think that's where the frustration really comes from.
Right. It's not addressing the realities that America and American families face every day today, but it is addressing the vision of the progressive left. It is addressing the dreams and pie in the sky ideas of the progressive left. And they continue to push it despite the pushback from the American people. Where is this going?
Oh, I don't think it's ultimately going anywhere. I mean, the reality is when you go ask the average American what infrastructure is and what their infrastructure priorities are, they're going to be pointing to roads and bridges in their community that should have been fixed decades ago. You can look across America today, probably 90% of the construction projects on our interstates and U.S. highways were ideas that our parents and grandparents came up with. The process has been overtaken by bureaucrats. It is slow. It's not responsive to the needs of the public. That is what we need to fix. We need to provide a project development delivery mechanism that truly reflects the urgency of the transportation and the traffic problems that we have across America. We've got to fix that. To try to call all of these other things infrastructure under this broad umbrella of social infrastructure is a fundamental mistake. It's going to distract our nation's resources and end up taking dollars that we need to be investing in roads and bridges and putting it into other things that, quite frankly, the federal government has no business being involved in.
And there's no need for it. I mean, you've got $300 checks going out to families for child care. You've got an enormous amount, trillions and trillions of dollars going at this economy from the COVID deal that was agreed upon back in March. Congressman, in a very practical assessment, can you tell us what the infrastructure needs are today of this country? I mean, where you've studied this, you're on the committee on transportation, infrastructure, traffic. You know where the weak spots are. Walk us through that so that we have an understanding of truly what is needed as an economy recovers without any money being thrown at it, without even having to put the debt at higher levels.
Well, first of all, I think it's most important that we actually fix the process that delivers the projects. We're looking right now at taking 7 to 10 years before you even go to construction, time spent on environmental analysis, on different studies and things that often are a waste of time and not even practical. In terms of categories of infrastructure, we've got to be making major investments in roads and bridges, in our ports and waterways, in flood protection infrastructure, and in airports. Those are core federal government responsibilities. That's where the federal government has been failing for decades. That is where we need to focus, and we've got to deliver the projects in the time that the public deserves.
Well, I think you make such a great point. You know, I didn't even think of that. And you're right. The bureaucracy of the amount of time to get things done is where we should focus first, and that is cutting regulation, which is what President Trump did. Congressman, we'll be watching the negotiations. Thank you, sir. Garret Graves joining us this morning in D.C. We'll be right back.